Hello guys, it's Stock Trader Max here and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be analysing the broader market along with Bitcoin and a few other assets and trying to decide what they could potentially do within the next 24 to 48 hours. But before I start today's video, anyone who's interested in joining my Signal team, this is my trading group, you can join for a very small fee of $29. I'm going to leave the website link in the description of today's video, dailymarketmovements.com, and you can be part of the trading team, which also gives you access to the Investors Lounge, where I update you with all our current trading positions, and of course the educational hub where you can understand how I analyze markets from a day-to-day basis. But let's get started here with the S&P 500. Market trended higher yesterday, which was very nice to see. New all-time high for the close as well. Currently trading at 5,859. We're down around a few percentage points. A few points since the close from yesterday, trading at 5,860, and I do believe that we are on our way to hit 6,002. Now, there are some people that believe that the five-wave pattern was something like this, and we're currently in that fifth inning now, but I actually disagree. I think it looks more like the one that I already have drawn out on the chart, and the reason I say this is because I've just basically drawn a fib extension from the first wave. So if I just quickly go into the settings and add that 1.61, there we go. That gives you roughly 6,000, which is the 1.618 fib extension from his first wave. That's always worked for myself, so I do believe that we are on track to go and hit roughly 6,000 to complete this third wave before any consolidation, where we might go trade back down towards 5,850. Obviously, we have the US election that's coming. It's fast approaching. In fact, just in a few weeks' time, that could potentially cause some negative volatility in the market. I wouldn't be shocked if we did try and maybe consolidated a little bit into the US election. And the reason I say this is because if we just quickly go over to the fear and greed index, we are now within the extreme greed category, which means that we're looking a little bit frothy at present. So I really wouldn't be surprised if the market did start to consolidate as we move into the US election, and then we could potentially stage for a big rally into year end post-election, because investors, they want certainty, and at the moment there's not much certainty whether is it going to be Trump, is it going to be Harris, what's the House going to be like, the House and Senate, is it going to be split? So I think once we have some of that cleared up, then that will obviously open up the door and give the green light for further rallies higher. Moving over to the Nasdaq 100, very similar to the S&P 500, I do believe we are in this free wave. The 1.618 fib extension from that first wave gives us a roughly 21,666. So I do believe that we are currently on course to achieving that price before any consolidation, where we go back and basically backtest the previous all-time high that we achieved back on the 11th of July as the new supportive area for the market. Then obviously the same distance of that first leg gives us roughly 23,500 here for that fifth wave, which I expect us to achieve somewhere in Q1 or Q2 2025. But this market looks really nice and healthy. I do believe that we will hit a new all-time high in the coming weeks ahead, which still represents a 1.85% gain from current prices. So I like buying dips here in the technology sector, such as the QQQ and the Nasdaq 100. Dow Jones 30 extending its gains higher, strong financials and discretionary stocks trading at 43,152, a new all-time high, and I do believe that we can continue to trade higher. One thing should be noted is that the RSI is now approaching that overbought territory, so we might have to try and consolidate going back to as a 50-day EMA before we do excel higher here, potentially post US elections, kind of similar to the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. Then finally, guys, if we just look at Bitcoin had a very good trading session yesterday, trading at new weekly highs here. We're trading just shy of this resistance within this cup and handle pattern that we've been forming. Here's a cup and handle, or you could even call it a bull flag. I do believe that a measured move from current prices takes us to around 100,000. I think it is easily achievable before end of year, which seems to shock many. But if we just quickly take this, for example, if I just get the ghost or the bars, the ghost feed. So if we just take a move that we saw from 24th of January to the 14th of March, so this is just over 2 months. That was the wrong tool that I wanted. I think it was just the there we go. If I just delete that. If we just go and get the bars pattern, for example, and we just mirror this move that we saw from the 23rd of January to the 14th of March, We are known to have these very aggressive moves higher in Bitcoin. So in just over 2 months, we did manage to rally, significantly from January all the way through to March. And if we had a similar movement, I think it's known as the God candle here in Bitcoin, that takes us up to roughly 99,000. And the reason I'm much more optimistic in Bitcoin and Bitcoin proxies, such as the miners, for example, and MicroStrategy, is because if we just go and have a look at the Bitcoin greed index, you will see that it is significantly lower versus the stock market. Obviously, stock market is in extreme greed, where Bitcoin currently has a reading of greed. So we still have a long way to go until we are considered to be very frothy here in the Bitcoin market. So that does give me hope that we can see further gains here, and we could potentially see a snapping correlation. Usually you see Bitcoin moving along with the stock market, but maybe, as we move into the election, we might see the stock market pull back or start to consolidate, where Bitcoin starts to stand on its own 2 feet, and we really start to pick up get some traction here in the Bitcoin market. So I do like Bitcoin and Bitcoin proxies over the US stock market going into year end. Also, the seasonal trends do support for this market to trade higher. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. Don't forget, if you would like to join my trading team, copy some of the trades that we have open in Bitcoin and Bitcoin proxies right now, then make sure you visit my website, dailymarketmovements.com. I look forward to welcoming you all soon.